Welcome to the companion video for Chapter 6, which is our chapter about statistics and organizing data. So statistics obviously seems like a bit of a big word to be talking about when we're considering elementary school. However, it's valuable for us to think of it from that perspective because one of the really current conversation pieces in math education is the fact that when we ask ourselves the question, what math really matters to everyone, every student who graduates from high school, whether they go to college or don't go to college, whether they go into a math career or they don't go into a math career, what kind of mathematics is important for them to know? And one of the most important answers we have to that question is we need to have students who understand how to gather data in an appropriate way, how to organize data in an appropriate way, and also how to assess data of their own or collected by other people. So being able to take data and have conversations about it. So because that is one of the most important focal pieces that we see for students going out into the real world, we want to begin talking about the concepts related to statistics or to data organization as early as possible. In this section, we talk about 3 different organizers. We have the picture graph, we have the line plot, and we have the bar graph. All are great ways for young children to learn about organizing data. The picture and the bar graph are pretty simple or something that we've seen before. The line plot, I think, might be a little bit newer to people, so I wanted to include it in this video. So let's take a look at the example that was included in the book. All right, so we see here that we have our, up in the upper right hand corner, I have the list of the data points that we have gathered for this example. We didn't state where those data points actually came from, but we could imagine something. Maybe we interviewed 13 people, because we have 13 data points here. We can imagine we interviewed 13 people and said, how many videos have you seen, or how many movies have you seen in the last month? And this might be their response. I saw 5, another person saw 4, one person saw only 1, and so on and so forth. So, or we could think of a number of different situations. It's always helpful for young students when we make, when we connect our data collection to something with meaning. So, if we look at these numbers, we see that the lowest number included is 1. I'll make a little arrow here to note that. Whoops. There's our little arrow. And the highest number we have included is 9. So because of that, I've made a graph, a line chart, or a line plot that starts with the value 1 and ends with the value of 10. And this is how we organize our plot. We go to our first data point, which is 5, and I make a small dot over the 5 that's on my line plot. I go to the next one, which is 4, and I make a small dot over the 4. Pretty straightforward. Next one, 1. Next one is 2 and 3. Cross these out. Then we have a 9, a 6, another 4. So this time I stack it up on top. A 3 and a 2. We stack those on top of the other dots. Another 3. It's our third 3. And then 2 5s at the end. 1, 2. And that's how we do it. We go through our list, plot dots above each number, and then kind of sit back and look at what we have as our plot, our line plot. Kind of what does the picture look like? Now, whenever we talk about data, we tend to think about some key aspects of the data, like what is the most common response that we got from people. So what's the most common number? Or what is the middle number? Like in our range of data values, what's right in the middle? Later on, they start to learn about things like averages or mean. But right now they may not have, like in the very earliest levels, they may not have the tools mathematically to be able to add up and find the average. But they can talk about middle, they can talk about most common, which later on we call mode, but even a kindergartner or first grader can understand the concept of what happens most often.